Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Maria, and we are doing this interview today with Mary Frances. We are talking in the Happy Mean about the topic of women and women's wellness. And I thought you are a young lady blooming into blooming into the industry of music. You have been a musician, I think, your entire life, one would say. Is that right?
Whether I like it or not. Yes.
Let's back up a little bit. You
Okay.
are also the daughter of Danelle
And Natalie.
and Natalie,
Yes.
Natalie and Danelle Leahy, and they have been musicians for a long time. You can catch part of our interview from last year in here in this channel. And now you are releasing your first album.
Yes,
Is that right?
correct.
So tell us a little bit about that. About your
Okay.
experience filming, or no, not
Recording.
filming, recording, creating the music.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to just fiddling.
Yes.
And fiddling is
You
a
are
lot.
right. So we started this project, I'm gonna say like 2.5, 3 years ago. So it was in the middle of COVID, and my parents were working on their album.
Oh yeah.
And they bought studio equipment because the pandemic was on.
Of course.
And Elmer Ferrer, our guitarist, he would come down and record with them in the studio. And so one day my mom said, like, we have a studio here. It would be totally easy for you to just go make an album. You could do fiddle, piano, and easy. He can record you. It doesn't cost you any money. It would be super easy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm 15 years old. I don't know.
Are you how old are you
No,
now? 18?
18, but I
Okay.
was 15.
Okay.
And she was like, it would be amazing. You should do that. And I was like, okay. Like, it's just fiddle piano. It'll be fine. So I started on my phone. I have a set list of the tracks and it was all traditional music. It was all like, traditional. And as they were finishing their album, I started writing music, not intentionally, just I would sit down and something would come out, so I'd record it, and all of a sudden we had I kept swapping out traditional music with something that I had written as I started writing more music.
Okay.
And then once we were almost had the full album, it was like, well, why don't we just have the full album be original music? And so we did that. I have enough material for 2 more albums. You pick through and you find out what matches the vibe the best. So it ended. I have a bunch of vocal stuff that's unreleased, but we decided this album.
Your vocal?
Yeah, but it's unreleased.
So let's. There's a few before we continue.
Yes.
A few questions.
Yeah.
By traditional music, you mean traditional Celtic?
Yeah.
Music. Is
Yeah,
that right?
Irish and Scottish.
And that's what we normally hear with the fiddle.
Yes.
And the piano.
Yeah.
Similar to your mom and dad.
Correct.
That play.
Yeah.
And the other stuff that you talk is
it still has those elements, you can still hear that in it, but it's also mixed with jazz influence, some Latin influence, Cuban. It's I called it a salad, where you put a bunch of random stuff in and you're like, why would that taste good? And then you taste it and it's like, oh my gosh, that's super cool, right? So
delicious. Yeah.
I don't know, it's not an intentional thing that I tried to write. Not like I said, well, what if I mix this with this and try? It just kind of happens.
Okay.
And especially when I was being Elmer was here so much, and he would show
Cuban.
me
Is
Cuban
that right?
music. Yeah. He would be showing me new artists and check this out, and I would hear him play. So all these, and I was taking a Latin piano class on Berkeley, online. Yeah. So all of the influences kind of got in there somewhere, and then they come out, and you're like, who would have thought of that? But it kind of works.
Well, you did.
I did.
You did. You thought of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of, yeah, it ended up being all instrumental. So when I said I have vocal stuff, I mean, I have a ton of other material that we haven't recorded yet or hasn't been released.
Yeah.
This one, yet.
This
one is all instrumental, and it's just kind of It sounds like a first project, I think. It sounds like a experimenting and like realizing yourself, kind of, like it feels, it sounds to me like a discovery, which it was. It was like, oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, we should put that in. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. Self-discovery. Has that also, like, you've been also growing into your adulthood?
Yeah.
As a 15 in Mexico, when you become 15,
yeah.
you're thrown into society, usually with a big party,
right?
And they have a quinceañera, and you dance with like 15 men, and you're presented into society.
Okay.
So I wonder if maybe writing music, that may be something similar to you, that you are finding parts of yourself.
Maybe, yeah.
Usually, for me, for example, when I'm working on my Zumba, and I have to practice, and I realize, I don't know this, and this is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you get this, but you want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Did you have some moments?
Some of that. The biggest.
Like this.
Yeah, the biggest, like, discovery thing was that I discovered that I actually wanted to do music for a living. And it sounds kind of weird because since I've been like this big, like you said, I've been playing. My dad says I'm genetically forced to play music, and
kind of
obviously, obviously I love music, and it was always going to be like a part of my life. I just never thought of it as my career.
Okay.
Because I thought that it was expected. Like, I thought, well, everyone's expecting I'm going to do that. No, like, I think I wanted to be a teacher or something, go to cooking school, I don't know.
Cooking, you do very well.
I
very
do like
delicious.
Cooking, yeah.
Very those little
hors d'oeuvres. And then when I started writing music, I thought, oh, I actually like, it was a totally different like discovery. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to choose this for me rather than everyone
for you.
Right. Or not that my parents, like, they're always, whatever you want to do, go do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like it was so expected that I'm going to have a music thing because my family, my dad's parents and their parents, and you know what I mean?
Everybody.
And then there's a moment when you like actually say, actually no, I want to do this. I'm choosing this, and it's actually different than what people might have expected. Or it's, so it kind of like a self-discovery, like, oh my gosh, this is actually perfect for me.
Nice.
And then thinking like, maybe there's like, the universe gave me this family because it is perfect for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You were placed in the perfect place.
Yeah.
Placed in the perfect place. Yeah. Very nice. How like we're chatting about women. And I actually made a little post yesterday because once a month women come to have a harder time doing anything. I think. I don't know if it's the same with music. Maybe actually music makes it easier. I don't know. This is a question. There are things that we can do to make that time of the month a little less difficult. And do you find music is one of them, or do you have maybe a different thing that you're like, I can't, what's your, like, maybe music is that thing that makes everything go away. But to me, I need to move it. I need to move to get the clouds that come and cloud the mind. And the thoughts, and they come with negative thoughts. I don't know, like, maybe you don't have this, but then you start thinking, I'm not very apt for this situation. What gets you out of that? Yeah,
so I was thinking about this the other day. And I think for me, working in whatever way, my brain being active, which music is good for that, so getting creative, like writing music, or even more than that, like physically being outside. Like the other day, I was, like maybe a week ago, I was having a difficult, time, and I was working out in the morning with my workout group or whatever, and I'm halfway through, I actually started to feel better because I felt like I could release the energy that was making me feel gross, or like it felt like there was some sort of release, even though I was physically working harder. It was like letting me get it out. So dancing for me is like the best form of release. Mental release, physical release, any of that.
And we have seen you at Zumba sometimes.
Yes.
Releasing.
Yes, releasing. So
yeah,
for me, some people I know like to sit on the couch with like a heating pad or a coffee. That is not me. I'm like, I need to move and I need to like get my head out of thinking about myself and how gross I feel.
Nice.
So music, dance, I think helps me.
Music and dance help. Yeah. You have some salsa elements in there in your Cheerio, at least.
Yes.
Is the one that is released out now. Is Elmer the salsa person in there? Or
playing piano?
Or is it all you?
Yes.
The whole thing is you? Or
No.
did you put, like your parents have a mix of people
Band.
in their latest, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a whole band, or are you doing pieces of music and then
Both.
putting it all together? Okay.
I played I danced, I fiddled, and I played the piano. And then we had a percussionist do like multiple layers of percussion. There's one guy. Elmer did guitars. We had a bassist. I think that was it for that one. Oh, drums as well.
Nice.
So yeah, there were 4 other people on the track, and then I did my 3 things. So you record one, you listen back, and you have that in your headphones, and then you record the next one, and then you listen to both of them, and then you record the next. Yeah.
Such a cool process,
It is. Yeah.
I really like that. I really like when you put a nice little video where you're doing one thing and then another thing, and then the music starts coming in together.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I love that you see all the things.
Yeah.
And when you play live,
Mhm.
you play with a band.
Yes.
Will the band be part of your family, or will the band be other people?
Michael, in the shows that I'm doing right now, Michael is part of the band. Like he, plays with me. He has that accordion influence, which I love because it's actually really strong in like Irish music, accordion. Okay. And it's also in like a lot of Latin music too, in a different way, right? So it's like one thing that is completely in both styles, and I think it like unifies. Nice mix. Michael, and then like for my release coming up, I mean the musicians change depending on who's available, but generally Elmer plays with me, Remy on bass. I have a new percussionist that I have never met before from Brazil. He's living in Toronto now. His name is Baiano. That's his nickname.
That's a cool name.
So I'm excited to play with him on Saturday, and Frank Martinez on drums.
And this Saturday, you're releasing your first album.
Yeah. Friday, I think.
On Friday. Oh.
Yeah, the release is Saturday. Okay. Sorry, it's on platforms like digitally on Friday, and then the party is Saturday.
And platforms, they'll be in everything, Spotify and
Apple Music,
and all the things. So you can go and check out Mary Frances's music.
Yes.
And I think this is a good chat. Thank you for chatting.
Thank you
for
us. Chatting.
And I hope to see you soon.
Yes.
Hope that people check out your music. Mm-hmm. And thanks for sharing your experience. Your experience with music.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you for listening, and see you later.